Hey there, ladies and gents, Chris again here. So in this quick video, I just want to address something that only a handful of users are seeing, but maybe you are one of them, and that is that you are not seeing at your Vault the option to add multi-chain. So if that is the case for you, so if you're going to your Vault, but you can't see anywhere to add multi-chain, it's essentially not active for you, let's go through that in this video. The first and most important thing I want to say is don't panic. There's nothing wrong. It isn't broken. You can have multi-chain. It's very easy to add to your Vault. It'll take about 30 seconds. We'll do it in this video. But I want to explain why you may not be seeing it immediately. And the reason for that is to give you a bit of context. Locked Money, long story short, we went live in February 2025. And anytime we add any update or we deploy a new feature, we essentially update everything behind the scenes. It's the same with the Vaults. When we went live, it was version 1 of the Vaults. Then we had a little update. A few months later, it was obviously therefore version 2. Now, at the time of making this video, we're on version 3 of the Vaults. Now, you don't need to be concerned about what number of the Vault version it is. But what I do want you to know is that it's the Vaults from version 3 that have the capability to have multi-chain added to them. Now, we deployed Vaults version 3 in, I think it was May 2025. So if you've created your Vault after May 2025 or now or any time in the future, you will always have the option to have multi-chain capability. But if you created a Vault, maybe you're one of our earlier users, and we love you for that if that is the case. But if you created a Vault before May 2025, maybe in our first few months of going live, then you will have version 1 or version 2 of our Vaults. As I say, it doesn't really matter what version number it is, but that does not have multi-chain capability. So all we need to do essentially is fix that for you. It's very, very easy. Now, the easiest way to do it is to simply create a new Vault, because creating a new Vault moving forward will have multi-chain capability, and then you can send your assets if you want to from your old Vault, let's call it, to this new Vault. We'll go and do this in a second. One thing I would quickly mention is don't delete your old Vault, because it's possible, if you're using our staking, for example, that your staking rewards might be going to that Vault. So even if we do, which we're about to do, create a new Vault that will have multi-chain capability and therefore maybe transfer your assets that were in your old Vault to this new Vault, still keep your old Vault, even if there's no assets in there, okay? So let me show you. So here I am at one of my, I've got a few test accounts. Here's one of my accounts here. And if I look at this particular Vault that's called Main 1, if I just click on it, you'll see here, as I hover, look, there's no option to add multi-chain. And if you see down here in these later Vaults that have created, a test Vault here and one called multi-sig test, there is the option. You can know that because you can see the icons. And so there's no option here. So imagine this is your main Vault that you've been using and you can't add multi-chain. And let's take a quick look at it. You'll see that I do have some assets in here. I've got some Locked Money, a tiny bit of Ethereum, a bit of USDC. So I've got some assets in this Vault, but I can't add it to multi-chain, or can't add multi-chain to it. So the easiest thing to do would be essentially to create a new Vault and then transfer these assets, if I wanted to this new Vault. Or I could just keep my assets in this Vault and have a new Vault that has got multi-chain. So let's do that very quickly. So let's go to Create Vault, and we're going to create a free Vault. And what am I going to call it? I'm going to call this Test New Vault. You get a choice of what network you want to create it on, as we've now deployed multi-chain. So let's start this first Vault on base, and then we could add another network later. So I'm going to create this new Vault on the base network. Let me click Continue. I'm just going to type in my signer name and click Continue. I'm going to click Pay Later here. There's a tiny transaction fee, but we can pay that later. Let's click Pay Later and click Continue. My Vault is now being deployed, and I'll have to confirm in a moment with my wallet that will pop open. There we go. Let me click Confirm. Your Vault creation is in process. There we go. Your Vault has been successfully created. Great. Let's click on Go to Vaults. And here we go. Here's a list of my Vaults. And there at the bottom, there's the new Vault that I've just created. And look, the icons are there, allowing me to add a new network. So if I click on the Vault itself, I sometimes prefer this view. I find it a little bit easier to see it in the left-hand navigational panel. There it is again. So there is my test Vault that I've just created. Look, there are the icons. And there was my original Vault, which is still here, of course, which obviously does not have the option to add multi-chain. So again, now if I wanted to add, well, let's do it very quickly. So if I go to this test Vault, There's no assets. If I click on assets, no assets in here at the moment. Let's receive some. We're on the base network, so let's send some locked money that I've got in my other vaults. Let's go to receive. So this is my wallet address. Let me copy that. And now let me go back to my original vault. Here it is. So I'm now back in my original vault. Let me click on assets. And let me click on send. And let me just paste the address that I just copied. There we go. What asset am I going to send? Let's send the locked money tokens. And let's send, well, let's just send for sake of test, 50. We'll do this really quickly. So I'm just going to send that. I'm going to deploy. Confirming that I want to do this. The blockchain will work its magic. I'll have to confirm in MetaMask. And then in a couple of seconds' time, these assets that I've just transferred, there we go, finish, great. So now let me go back to my new vault that we just created. Here it is. If I click on assets, I might need to refresh the page. There we go. The locked money assets, excuse me, I'm losing my voice, that we've just sent are in my new vault. So you could therefore send your assets from your original vault to your new vault if you wanted, knowing that you could also, on this new vault, here it is, add the BNB chain if you've got some BNB somewhere, or the Ethereum chain if you've got some Ethereum or Polygon. So that is how to make sure that your vault does have multi-chain, just by simply creating a new vault. So any new vault that's now created will automatically have multi-chain. If you created a vault in essentially the first few months of Locked Money going live, it does not have the multi-chain capability, and this is the solution. I hope that helps. All the best.